Hello, welcome to Conny Decorates today, and of course with heart. And with heart, Micha, the cameraman. Exactly. It's really super dark right now. A proper wall of snow is coming, and we thought, let's make it really cozy for ourselves. A little string of lights, and we still have a real wax candle from Christmas. And we've taken down some old Christmas decorations and just added a few early bloomers. And this is our new table decor for the living room table, dear friends. But if you want to know how this natural table decor works, stay tuned, because we're going to show you now. And these are the things we need today for our, let's just say, table decor, whether it's for indoors or outdoors. And this is our base, or rather, I actually still had this bowl with shells on our living room table. I also had the candle and succulents in there. I've taken that out now and would really like to put in some spring flowers today. And here I have these beautiful 1,000 daffodils, but also tulips, spring flowers as mentioned, which you can use today according to your choice. And also fairy lights if you have them of your choice. I always decorate with them at least once a year. I have them in silver and gold. Of course, any other string lights will work too. Then I have the pillar candle here, which was in there. I have a few patent fasteners, a hot glue gun, just in case today, as well as a straw holder, moss, and a few branches. And I would say, let's get started. Normally I had actually decided to decorate the straw holder a bit with moss today, but I always have my rummage boxes and rummage bags here. And I actually found some burlap fabric. Look, maybe you also have some burlap fabric or something else nice that you can wrap around the holder. I think it always gives such a great, has a wonderful rustic touch, especially with this burlap fabric. This is an old potato sack that has been used for many years, showing signs of wear and tear. I'm planning to carefully cut it open along the side here, using a sharp tool to ensure a clean cut. Alternatively, I might wrap some strong binding wire around it, which will help to press it more securely into the straw holder. This is an important step to make sure that we don't accidentally hurt ourselves while handling it, as the edges can be quite sharp and potentially dangerous if not properly managed. And then I take my burlap fabric, place it here, and secure it to the straw holder. Inside, it doesn't necessarily need to have a lot of fabric, because the straw holder will be more visible from the outside later on. The outside of the wreath. I'm now carefully wrapping the wire around the object here a few times, making sure to do it very casually and without any rush, and it fits perfectly, just as I had hoped. That worked out really well, much to my satisfaction. And now, with a sense of accomplishment, I proceed to cut the wire with precision and gently push the remaining part back into the straw holder, ensuring everything is neat and tidy. And then I take my bowl, sit in here, and just see how high it comes out. And I would like to have it a bit higher. I want to make it look a bit like a small cake. So I'm just going to get some dried moss, which I keep collecting and storing, and fill it up at the bottom. You can also use newspapers or wood chips or whatever, or sand or soil, it really doesn't matter. But I'm using my moss to fill up the bowl. Now I've filled everything in nicely, and now I have the wreath just the way I want it. It's a bit higher above the bowl. It's sitting higher now. And I think now I have to check, I still have my glass here to make sure it fits. And I'm just going to stick this in here, and it fits perfectly. So that holds wonderfully. And let's place that here. Here, the candle can fit in wonderfully later, and then we practically already have our framework. Then it continues. I'm taking the candle out again. The glass can stay in for now. I'm going to take my bulb flowers out of the pot first. I'm taking the daffodils out completely, rinsing off the roots, and I'm leaving the tulip in the pot for now. I'm going to do it the other way around. I think I'm going to carefully take my tulips out first and measure the individual bulbs here. So we practically have 3 of them here. I'm removing some of the root system and leaving a bit of soil on, and I'm going to place my tulips in the outer space, basically between the wreath and the container. And I want the root system to be a bit lower, so I'm doing that very carefully. Here you can also add a bit of soil if you like, but it's not absolutely necessary. I'm now taking all my tulips. We'll be placing them on the outside. I have some leftover moss here and I'm just going to place it a bit in the gaps. Also here, where we can see a bit more soil. Press it in gently. Then you can also spray the bulbs to keep them nice and moist. That's always a great option. But you can also literally moisten or water them wonderfully with a small watering can. Before we continue with the daffodils, I have my wonderfully mossy branches here. This one is a bit thick, but I also have some very fine ones here. You could just stick in between the wreath and the container. And I'm just checking if I really have a bit of room here to add some very fine twigs. Now I've also found the pine cones here. They're beautiful as well. I would just wedge them in here like that. It's always perfect and fits wonderfully. And as I'm finding little gaps everywhere where I can stick the branches in, and that gives them such a wonderful natural height. I think I would go ahead and place this string of lights into the wreath. I personally really like them with these ornaments, or rather, yes, with this string of lights with the silver ones. Yes, it's very decorative, and it really gives the natural look a nice little touch. And I'm just going to place them nicely in here. And I'm just going to place the battery compartment at the back on the table. These little wooden slices are always perfect. I had these here in the glass as decoration, and I would like to just attach them in between with hot glue. Just hold a point and press against it gently. Please always be careful, especially with glass containers. This one is quite thick, considering it's relatively short. That's why I can also work with a bit of pressure here, or yes, had to apply a bit of pressure to get the branches in. But if you have very thin glass, please be careful not to hurt yourself and to make sure the glass doesn't break. It's so full that we've decided to only use 2 daffodils here. Or rather, I'm just going to carefully glue a patent holder to the root here. Just wait a moment until it's dry. Once it's dried well, you can just press them into the straw wreath here, nice and carefully. Do you like it, Micha? Very nice. Light the candle or lights. 2 options. We're done. Or the string of lights. And you still have 2 variations, especially now that it's still so dark. A string of lights, wire or small balls fits well. And yes, this way you can still decide whether to place a real wax candle, maybe even an LED real wax candle in the center. And no matter what, a string of lights, maybe even a bundle or some nice wire or small balls, all fits wonderfully in here. And we really hope that we could inspire you today, that we could bring you a bit of joy. And please, I'm still a bit under the weather, sorry. Yes, that's why I sometimes have a bit of trouble speaking. So, dear ones, we're happy to decorate with and for you again and say, see you soon, your Conny and your Micha, your cameraman. Exactly. Feel very much hugged and embraced. Until then, stay healthy. Bye.